late. It is 6:07, it looks like. Call the meeting to order. Ask that you stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shirley, would you call the roll, please?
Cruz.
Here.
Malinsky.
Here.
Ball. Here. Walker.
Here.
Steggy.
Here.
Brian Cruz.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Okay, on the meeting agenda for tonight, we have two presentations. First, Tamara Buzwinka, DDA Director, will give her quarterly report. And then secondly, we have Katie Meal with the Manistee County Planning to enlighten us about the Land Bank Authority. Under Communications and Announcements, you have in your packet a letter from Networks Northwest regarding community discussions on the Manistee County Master Plan. Under Department and Committee Reports, we have item A is Operation Services Monthly Report, which is in your packet, or actually it wasn't in your packet, it's on your table in front of you. Item B is the Sewer Report, it's in your packet. Item C, there's no minutes from the April BDA, as there was not an April meeting. D, the Board of Review is not met. Item E, Building and Grounds, those minutes are in your packet. And an item for consideration tonight, item A, approval of flooring material from Lowe's Home Centers for the Rec Center. Item F is Planning Commission. Those minutes are in your packet from the April meeting. Item H, Personnel Committee, met last month, and those minutes are in your packet along with an action item, which is item A, consideration of approval of the Personnel Committee's recommendations to hire Robert Hall for the part-time zoning administrator position. Item I is the Elections Commission, which is not met. Item J, Fire Department. The chief's report is in front of you on your table, and items K and L, Zoning Board of Appeals and PEG, have not met. Under new business, we have item A, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 31 of the Charter Township of Filer Code of Ordinances by adding Article 78 to establish an overlay district covering parcels on the Lake Michigan lakefront, to provide regulations relevant to lakefront properties, by amending Article 5 to add and delete certain definitions, by increasing the requisite setback of fences for pens, corrals, or similar enclosures in the medium-density residential district, by changing certain sections to include the term parcel, by amending Article 10, Section 31.10.1070, and Article 37, Section 31.37.3703, to clarify regulations relating to accessory structures in waterfront yards and to include a new accessory special use, to permit sales of goods at roadside stands not produced on the same land as the stand, and to repeal all ordinances in conflict herewith. Item B is consideration of approval of a request for annual support from the Manistee Recreation Association in the amount of $9,480. Item C is consideration of approval in the amount of $5,200 to Swiderski Brothers Excavating LLC for water tower drain. Item D is consideration of approval in the amount of $4,300 to Swiderski Brothers Excavating LLC for well sample tap. Item E is consideration of approval for Filer Township and Manistee County Road Commission agreement for Red Apple Road, Ramona Drive rather, and Linwood Road preservation projects, with Filer Township contributing $275,896 from the total cost of $551,792. Item F is consideration of approval of presented amended wages, salaries, charges, and fees resolution for 2024-25. Item G is consideration of approval of a new computer and monitor for treasurer. Item H is consideration of approval in the amount of $100 to Consumers Energy for streetlight installation, and direct the supervisor to sign the contract and resolution. And if there's no additions or changes to the meeting agenda for tonight, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I so move. I'll support.
Motion by Dean Cruz, second by Brian Cruz to approve the meeting agenda for tonight. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On the consent agenda for tonight, we have item A, the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 2nd, 2024. Item B is the financial report. Item C is approval of the Township General Fund expenditures, which includes the fire department. And those checks are numbered 41445 through 41535. Accounts payable total $75,179.33. Payroll totals $20,186.10 for a grand total of $95,365.43. Item D is approval of water department expenditures, checks numbered 3232 through 3243. They total $55,835.07. Item E is approval of the sewer operating expenditures, checks numbered 1233 through 1235, totaling $8,992.23. Item F is approval of the monthly ACH payments to the state of Michigan and the IRS in the amount of $3,186.32. Item G is approval to apply $56,938.67 remaining from the American Rescue Plan funds to the West Fox Farm Road and Wildwood Road projects, which were completed in 2023. Item H is approval for the Township Board members to attend the MTA Manistee County Chapter Annual Dinner Meeting on May 22nd, 2024 at Maple Grove Community Center at a cost of $18 per person. Item I is approval to advertise for Downtown Development Authority Committee vacancy of an unexpired term ending December 31st of 2026. And again, if there are no additions or corrections to that agenda, I would ask for a motion to approve.
I'll support.
Motion by Kalinowski, second by Steggy to approve the consent agenda for tonight. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any public comment tonight?
I have something. My name's Ernie Helminski. I live at 1138 Red Apple Road. The house next to me is 1160 Dottie Peterson's house. It's now up for sale. Her daughter, Terry Peterson, was living with the mother before she went into a home, and she had to be evicted from the house because she would not leave when they wanted to put the house up for sale. And she now moved in a tent in the backyard. She moved over on Dan Hogan's property for 14 days till he told her she had to get off. And she's not allowed on the Peterson property because she was evicted. The police had to come and do it. And now she went over onto Januszewski's property, which she asked him for permission, and he wouldn't grant her permission, but I think he feels sorry for her because she said she didn't know that she had to get out of the house or anything, but her sister told me she knew for a year that the house was going up for sale and they had a place for her to go, but she wouldn't leave. So now she's living in a tent, and she's now accumulated a whole bunch of stuff there, tarps, and she's got clotheslines, she has no water, no bathroom facilities. And people are coming and going every day there. They're coming through the Peterson yard, which is the only access, I guess, to get to the place. Is that allowed by the township?
No, Ernie, we don't have a whole lot to do with that. I'm wondering, the sheriff's department, I understand, has already been contacted?
The sheriff's department evicted her.
Okay.
The lady from the trust place out of Traverse City that's handling the house for the mother told me that she talked to the sheriff department, and they said that since she's living on Mr. Januszewski's property, he has to complain. And I went and approached him and talked to him. He's a real nice guy. And he kind of feels sorry for her, and, you know, everybody's got bad times, and,
Yeah.
and so he's letting her stay there.
Do you know whether Health and Human Services have been contacted or?
That I can't tell you.
Okay,
There's, I was told by her sister, Carol Steinberg, that there was somebody from the state or something came there, I guess, and did talk to her, but I don't know who it was or what they talked about.
okay. Yeah, this is something that needs to be followed up on, and if you can either give me your contact information, write it down, leave it for me, or call me tomorrow,
Okay.
so that, yeah, I can follow up on this, I would appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, like I said, everybody thought, well, this is only going to be temporary, because she told Mr. Hogan, oh, I'm going to get a place, it's just going to be for a few days. Well, then he made her move, and then she went on the other guy's property, and now she's there, and she's been there now, probably 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, there's, I know there's quite a bit of that around,
Well, like I
whole
said, it
area.
wasn't bad at first, but now she's accumulating stuff in
Yeah,
garbage
yeah.
bags, and, you
it needs,
know.
yeah, it needs to be dealt with, so if you'll either leave me your contact information or call me, and so that
Will do.
we can
Thank
get the
you.
ball rolling. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Just
Yes, sir.
a quick question, I don't know if this is the appropriate place to do this, but we've been trying to get some permits and stuff for building, and with Larry being gone,
Okay.
we've been like held up for.
Can I have your name, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Terry Siebert. I live on
Okay,
south end of Campbell Lake.
yep.
Terry, you and I spoke, I'm Travis, we spoke the other day.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know if there was, I understand tonight you may appoint a new
Yes,
person.
yes,
Is there a method we can use to get caught up? Because
yes,
we have so many
yes.
things right now are stacked up,
Yep.
waiting on one decision.
I'll be meeting with him on Thursday, and, you know, introducing him to the layout and everything here, and getting him on board, going in that, and yours is one of several unfinished permits that he'll be receiving. And I guess I will suggest to you, like I have to others, that if you don't hear from him, say by the end of next week, call him. We will have his information, contact information, both email and phone on our website, so you'll be able to access it that way. And if you can't, call me.
And if this isn't appropriate to bring here, but like I said,
Yeah, no, that's fine. We've been struggling, trying to keep up on things. We've got quite a bit going on right now, and so we'll be appointing a person tonight, hopefully. Okay? Any other public comment? Okay, then let's get right into our presentations. Tamara, you're up.
Since last time I spoke to you guys, this is the quarterly update. And, oh, here, I'll go stand at the podium if it makes it easier. Hi, my name is Tamara Bezwinka. I'm the DDA director for Filer Township DDA. The DDA, since last time we spoke, the DDA has signed a contract with Troposphere Legal for their legal representation. That's Chris Bisdock will be taking care of the DDA's legal issues. The Hamlet project, I have spoken to the developer. He has not made too much movement. He has told me that he is looking for development partners. So we'll see where that goes. The DDA has bounced around the idea of giving them just a tiny little bit of time to let us know what partnerships they're talking about, but then maybe in the very near future reissuing the RFQ. So stay tuned on that. But the DDA also was approached to have a piece of their property sold, to sell their property to Dr. Jamie Boyer. She's a dentist in the city of Manistee, and she's looking to build a new building in the township. We helped her look for a lot of different properties in the township, but she approached the DDA to maybe use one of the properties that the DDA bought as part of the Hamlet project. So if you'll remember, the Hamlet, you guys own the 20 acres behind US 31, and the DDA bought 4 acres to allow for access into the 20 acres, which left room for more commercial development. So this is absolutely fantastic to get a commercial project on those properties. And we're working out some of the finer details. I think having the new zoning administrator will be very helpful. We do have a purchase agreement that needs some tweaking, but the DDA is going to set up a special meeting for next Tuesday to try to wrap this all up. As one of the special projects that the DDA has every year, well, they did last year, and this was going to be the second year, is the food truck frenzy, the Filer food truck frenzy, and Al Fry is spearheading that again. And so we're working on that, same as last year, music, the food trucks. We've been given permission to enter an agreement with the, Dr. Balaban, who owns the Hillside Plaza, you know, the shopping area next to U-Haul. So we've got a space. We're just trying to get all the other pieces together. Speaking of U-Haul, Dr. Balaban is very concerned about the entrance, the access into his plaza through the U-Haul. I don't want to say U-Haul property, but Dr. Balaban feels he has an easement that goes past McDonald's. So you remember, you go past McDonald's and then you fly into the parking lot and you go over into the Hillside Plaza to go to Secretary of State, whatever. But they're upset that the trucks are parked in a way that makes it very difficult to get to the plaza. And so we're in the process of evaluating their surveys and easement agreements to see if we can rectify this. Terry's gone out there a couple times to look at it, but it is something that they are very concerned about. So we're on that, though, trying to figure that out. And I'm looking forward to the new zoning administrator coming on board to help us with some of these issues. So that is what I have for you tonight. Anybody want to talk about anything? Any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
I just have a comment. It'd be nice to get the new business, something started on that property.
Yeah.
Instead of letting it go to Manistee Township or somewhere else,
Yes.
like most places are going. So I'm definitely all for getting a new business in there, a new building, good looking building.
Yes. It definitely is allowed by the zoning. I mean, there's really, I think there are some, I mean, the zoning administrator will do the review, but the use fits perfectly. Okay,
Any other
Paul?
questions? Comments? Okay, thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Katie Meal with the Manistee County Planning.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Katie. I am the current planning director for Manistee County. And as of this year, it was late December, the county planning department was designated as staff to the County Land Bank Authority. So I'm putting on my land bank hat tonight to talk to you guys. And one of the first tasks they gave me was to get out in front of all the local units of government, do a quick presentation to explain what the Land Bank Authority is and how it might be a resource to your community. A land bank is designed to acquire and maintain vacant, abandoned, and tax delinquent properties and to use the legal authority granted through the state statute to return the properties back to a productive use. The state statute is Public Act 258 of 2003, the Land Bank Fast Track Act, and that details all of their authorities. But under that state statute, land banks also have a little bit of special authority to help them deal with foreclosed and tax delinquent properties. For example, quiet clear title is something that's detailed within there, which essentially allows a land bank to clear title on a property faster than a typical entity or person. Due to limited resources, land banks in rural communities like ours tend to rely on partnerships to accomplish activities, whether that's with our local units of government, developers. Habitat for Humanity is a big partner because I know one of their big feats is we've got the people and the volunteers, and a lot of times they have the funding to build the houses, but they don't have the land. So that is a great partnership that ultimately provides housing for our community. And looking at the flat handout that I gave you guys, so just kind of walking through visually how a land bank authority can act, and there's a couple over there too if you guys wanted to grab them. So we see the typical life cycle for abandoned properties. We see something become blighted, typically vacant, it falls tax delinquent, goes to foreclosure, and it's sold at auction. A lot of times when properties are sold at auction, they're sold to a speculative buyer who thinks, I'm going to DIY this property, I'm going to dump some money in, fix it up, and I'm going to make it something great. We all know that in reality, a lot of times these properties need more work than what they're worth. That's figured out and the cycle repeats. So, like I had said before, land banks are kind of designed to break that cycle. They clear the title for the property if they acquire that property, and they can rehab the property and sell it to be occupied and brought back onto the tax roll. It can be demolished, made vacant, nice clear slate for a developer that wants to come in and redevelop the property. Or we even see them put to use as public space. Another example is sometimes in our platted subdivisions, we see very small lots. So hypothetically, if a house is demolished, maybe that's a non-conforming lot. It's not the best use of space to put another house on there, but we can offer the property to adjacent landowners. And even though we're not getting another structure back on the tax roll, we're cleaning up that property and ultimately improving the property values for that neighborhood. So that's kind of the typical, in a nutshell, utilizing the foreclosure process, how land bank authorities can be of assistance. There's also additional benefits on top of that process, such as grant opportunities and brownfield plans. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with brownfield plans, but under that state statute, there are eligible activities that would qualify for tax increment financing. In order to qualify to be a brownfield, a lot of times you have to be an environmentally contaminated property. But if you transfer the property into the land bank's name for the sole purpose of getting a brownfield plan approved with the understanding it's reverted back to the private entity, you can tap into some of those eligible activities that aren't necessarily just for environmental contaminants, because there's additional activities. So that's a channel that the land bank can be utilized for. And then I'm sure you guys have seen in the paper recently, there's a lot of funding that has made its way into Manistee County due to the success of the Land Bank Authority. I believe that with the blight elimination funding that's come through the state, we're at roughly $3 million that's been brought into the county for blight elimination. So in the recent success column, most of these properties are, because of that blight elimination money, we see the $619,000 roughly awarded for blight elimination, 305 First Street and 610 Parkdale Avenue. 610 Parkdale is the old Kennedy School, which is now pretty much down. The school itself is down. They've got some odds and ends to finish up. 305 First Street, I'm trying to think of which one. I believe that was the old DAV building in town. Yep. And then we had a couple smaller residential single-family demolitions that occurred. And then in addition to this, I actually created this flyer before additional grants were awarded. If you guys are familiar with the old Northern Hotel on Washington Street on the north side, they were awarded $1.5 million to stabilize that building. So very exciting, and it's really cool to see the county putting resources into the Land Bank Authority. Our Land Bank Authority is relatively new, formed in 2018, but that blight funding would not have been available to our county had we not had the land bank in place. At the bottom of the recent success column, you see the 12234 Maple Street in Bear Lake. This property actually did follow that typical cycle that I explained, where the property went to foreclosure. The Land Bank Authority was able to acquire the property and partner with Tiny Developers, Inc., with the promise that they were renovating the property and getting it back on the tax roll. So that was actually donated with their promise to renovate and return it to the tax roll. So that, in a nutshell, is kind of how a land bank can assist your community. And now that we have staff for the Land Bank Authority, I'm really excited to see, and with the funding that's been coming through the state, I'm really excited to see what more we can accomplish in the future. We've got our members listed there, but I've got my contact info. If you guys are ever aware of any individual, private landowner, or even if you have public properties that you think might benefit from the resources of the land bank, please don't hesitate to send them our way. I would say also keep your eyes and ears peeled for additional blight elimination funding. The program for the State Land Bank Authority was not designed to be cyclical, but we're hopeful that there might be some more funding coming our way, whether it be through that program or something new that they develop and continue to fund. So I know that was kind of a lot, just all at once, high-level overview, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll open it up for questions if you guys have any.
Any questions for Katie? So if we're aware of some blighted buildings in the township, initiated by reaching out to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and with the grant funding, because we don't have any available to us at this time, I've kind of started a running list of potential properties that might benefit in the future. So I am going to keep that handy, and as soon as we have funding available or another program through the Land Bank Authority, I'll make sure to tap right into that list. I know we had a handful that didn't quite make the cut or were a little bit hesitant to commit to this round of funding. So yeah, if you guys have anything. And then another option really, because the land bank isn't necessarily rolling in a pot of cash where we can buy properties at fair market rate. But if anyone wanted to donate their property to the land bank, one of the building officials had kind of made this comment, and he's like, they could get the tax write-off if they've got a property that, has truly become obsolete, they don't know what to do with. They could donate it to the land bank or sell it at a nominal cost, and then maybe we could put a habitat house on it or something to that effect. So yeah, the goal of the land bank is to push for economic development, good use of property, and get these properties back onto the tax roll as good taxable properties.
Okay, thank you, Katie.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, you have in your packet the communication on community discussions from Networks Northwest. Under reports, the monthly operations services report is in front of your place. And item B, the sewer report from the city is also in your packet. The monthly checks on the numerous manholes and the flow reported. Looking at looking at this report, I'm looking at the first 4 there and trying to figure out, I think that was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, why the flow was so much higher than average on those 4 days, and I didn't come up with anything, but then it's back to the typical daily flow from there. Okay, item D, or item E rather, the Building and Grounds Committee, those minutes from the April 22nd meeting are in your packet, and they have a proposal there for you to look at and consider on flooring for the rec center. We've been waxing that floor pretty much on an annual basis the last few years at a cost of around $700 to $800 every time, and it just doesn't seem to hold up. So Bob and Tom did some research and came up with some 3 different quotes there on flooring costs. I've got samples down at my office. I should have brought them here tonight, but I do have samples of those floorings. The thing that they're questioning, I guess, is at this point, is there an interest from this body in pursuing this further, looking at new flooring? This would be a floating floor. It's a tongue and groove, waterproof flooring that would require much less care. Would probably hold up better than the tile that's in there now, but those prices are just for the flooring, and then there would have to be installation charges, and that's what they're looking at right now, trying to find somebody that would install the flooring. The approximate total for the flooring would be in the neighborhood of $20,000 as stated here on this, so I guess
My question is, I see an estimate for 20,000, but what, for all 3 of those floorings?
No.
That's what it adds up to, 20,000, but why?
Yeah,
My estimate is-
I think that's a mistake, because there's
That's
3
just-
different types of flooring.
3 styles.
3 different
If we
styles.
Pick one,
Right.
Sure,
20,000 for all, but we're
because
not.
it's a different
Yeah.
dollar amount per
They,
square foot.
the dollar amount per square foot is very close to the same on all of them.
Right.
And
So I mean, the estimate wouldn't be.
the costs are within what, about $500 or $600?
Right, but it'd be
on the flooring
7
costs.
grand,
Yeah,
6
yeah,
grand.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be
exactly.
20 grand.
No, I don't know how that got on there, to be honest with you.
But I mean, you put the labor in there, I don't see the estimate for the labor.
No, and
They're
they
not done yet.
they did get one quote on labor, but they weren't sure they wanted to go that route, and so they had a couple more contacts to make, but they kind of figured rather than go any further, let's see if there's an interest in updating that flooring at the rec center. If the board is interested in pursuing that, they can look further and get more information and get a little harder cost for you,
Yeah, I
including
can't remember.
installation.
I can't remember the last time it was done.
I think they.
I have no idea when that floor that's in there was put in, but it's been, I know it was waxed a year ago, and I think the year before that it was waxed, stripped and waxed, and it just doesn't last.
And all this is a 20 mil wear surface, which is good, so it's all good stuff, every one of them, 20 mil.
Is that gonna be the kitchen, the utility room, the bathrooms, and the hall?
It wouldn't be the furnace room, the storage room, where the tables and that are stored, but it'd be the kitchen, both bathrooms, and then the main room.
I think it should be done.
All we got clearance on all the doors when they open and close, because
Yeah, and you heard Bob say that they took measurements and that they will clear, these are all, about a 1/4 inch, I think, in thickness. And like I said, I've got samples in my office if you want to stop by and look at them. But if the board's interested, I will let, Bob and Tom know to get, narrow those costs down a little bit more, get a harder figure, and then get a installation cost along with it.
Yeah,
So they,
there's a couple
hopefully
vendors
could
that-
have that for the next meeting. Is that what you'd like me to do?
I would like,
Okay.
I make a motion?
I don't think we need a motion at this point. It's
Okay.
just for further information gathering. Okay. Question?
I think it's time we did something.
Yeah, that floor's been in there a long time. Nobody can
I mean, we've
remember.
been looking at this for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Okay, item F, Planning Commission, those minutes from the special meeting on April 11th are in your packet. And item G, the zoning administrator's report is in your packet, although looking at it, it's a little bit incomplete. There should be a couple more on there.
The other thing is the permit for the fireworks. Where's that going to be located at? What's the address?
At the same place it's been the last several years, the old bowling alley location. I think we've all seen that tent there the last, I don't know how many years.
Oh, okay, that's just that tent there.
Yeah, right,
Oh.
right.
There's no
Jake's
address.
Fireworks.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
And they've applied for that again this year, and so that'll be another one of the permits that Bob will be working on.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes us to item H, the Personnel Committee. Those minutes are in your packet from the April 17th meeting, along with a recommendation. And when you read the minutes there, the part-time zoning / planning administrator position discussion, that recommendation is a little more complete than what's in our agenda there. Because it also gave a rate, number of hours per week, talks about a 90-day probationary period. But we interviewed 2 men for that position. They also looked at the information that you all looked at from the county, for the county to do our zoning administration. And this was their recommendation. The gentleman there recommending Bob Hall received his certification in 2009. In fact, it came up through discussion that it was the same year that Lynn Cuyers got her certification through MSU. And then he has 22 years of experience in zoning administration and is doing zoning administration for, I believe at this time, 4 other municipalities, small ones, Norman being probably the largest. He is their part-time zoning administrator as well.
I'll make a motion that we hire Robert Hall.
I'll second.
Motion by Brian Cruz, second by Steggy, to hire Bob Hall for the zoning administrator's position. Any other discussion?
He's got a good background.
Yeah, he's got very impressive.
Yeah,
Credentials.
if you read his information he included, yeah, very impressive. All right, Shirley, you want to do a roll call on it, please?
Walker,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Ball, yes. Dean Cruz,
Yes.
Brian Cruz.
Yes.
Kalinowski,
Yes.
Stuckey.
Yes.
Okay, item J, the fire department. Jim's report is in front of you. Jim, is there anything you want to add to your report?
I've been in Danny's report.
Okay.
Someone has some questions for you.
Any questions for Jim?
How the truck inspections go, Reed?
We passed all the DOT inspections. I had to buy some parts, a couple of brake parts for the engine. That they had to install new parts there. That was part of that bill that was for 200 from the truck place, $210. But other than that, everything else went real well with the inspection.
Thank you.
Okay, under new business, item A is consideration of approval of the ordinance changes to amend chapter 31 by adding Article 78 to establish an overlay district covering parcels on Lake Michigan lakefront, to provide regulations relevant to lakefront properties, by amending Article 5 to add and delete certain new definitions, by increasing the requisite setback of fences for pens, corrals, or similar enclosures in the medium-density residential district by changing certain sections to include the term parcel, by amending Article 10, Section 31.10.1070, and Article 37, Section 31.37.3703 to clarify regulations relating to accessory structures in waterfront yards, and to include a new accessory special use, to permit sales of goods at roadside stands that are not produced on the same land as the stand, and to repeal all ordinances in conflict herewith. And that's one of a number of ordinances the Planning Commission has been working on for some time. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
I'll support.
Motion by Dean Cruz, second by Hachinsky, to approve these ordinance changes. Any discussion? Shirley, go ahead.
Ball, yes. Steggy,
Yes.
Kalinowski.
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Achinsky,
Yes.
Brian Cruz.
Yes.
Dean Cruz.
Yes.
Okay, item B is consideration of approval of a request for annual support from the Manistee Recreation Association in the amount of $9,480. And that funding formula information is in your packet. Shirley, how does that compare to, I know we did, no, that was the MRI we didn't fund for a couple of years, I think. There's been a vacancy on that, hasn't there?
Well, if we didn't fund it, it was during COVID and
Yeah,
there was
right.
nothing, so.
But we did last year. How's this compare to that? Do
I
you
don't
recall?
know, I didn't look. To me, in the 9,000 range, it seemed it might be up a little.
Yeah.
I was thinking 8,000.
I think so.
We
But
used to
they
get
did talk about more people using it, so this is why.
a readout of who was using it, and we had to
It's-
receive that.
It's
It's in there.
It's in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
80 people, 158 activities from pilot. I think is all the names.
It's not looked back, there must be in here.
You want to take a look at it? Tom, I got a hard copy here.
Yes, I do.
Didn't Tammy give you a hard copy of everything?
Just the first part of it, she didn't give me the last part of it. She didn't have it completed when I picked it up.
Oh. And we pay this quarterly. This passes out, request quarterly invoices from them, and we pay it every 3 months.
Yeah, like we do with the school.
Right.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the request to the MRA in the amount of $9,480.
I'll support it.
Motion by Walker, second by Brian Cruz to approve the request from the MRA for annual support in the amount of $9,480. Any discussion? Shirley, go ahead.
Is there anything in here
Oh, sorry.
that says pay quarterly?
I don't see anything there, no. But I think we've done that in the past, if I'm not
We do
mistaken.
it, we do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak to it, how it's paid.
Go ahead, Shirley.
Okay, Walker,
Yes.
Ball, yes. Brian Cruz?
Yes.
Dean Cruz?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Stady?
Yes.
Kalinowski?
Yes.
Item C is consideration of approval in the amount of $5,200 to Swiderski Brothers Excavating LLC for the work at the water tower drain. And this was something that was required by Eagle when they did their site visit,
I'll make
say
a motion.
last fall, I think.
What water tower?
Out here,
Right here.
yeah, this one.
Eagles requesting it, I guess we gotta get it done.
Yeah, there's this one and the next one on here, both were.
There's two of them.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna make
both
the
of them
motion.
were
I'll
requested.
make the motion.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by Dean Cruz, second by Brian Cruz to approve payment to Swiderski Brothers in the amount of $5,200 for the work on the Filer City water tower. Any discussion? Want to do another roll call?
Brian Cruz?
Yes.
Ball, yes. Stady?
Yes.
Dean Cruz?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Kalinowski?
Yes.
Okay, item D is consideration of approval in the amount of $4,300 to Swiderski Brothers Excavating LLC for the well sample tap. And again, that was a requirement by Eagle.
Same water tower?
Pardon me?
Same water tower?
No, I believe this was at well 2.
I'll make the motion to accept that.
I don't know if it speaks to it in here.
Doesn't say.
If you go back to when the proposal was presented, I think it was addressed in there, the location. Or we can ask Josh.
I'll support.
So Dale, was that your motion? Okay, motion by Kalinowski, second by Brian Cruz to approve the payment of $4,300 to Swiderski Brothers Excavating for the well 2, well, I'll just say the well sample tap at this point. Any discussion? Okay, Shirley, if you're ready, go ahead.
Ball, yes. Kalinowski?
Yes.
Stady?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Dean Cruz?
Yes.
Brian Cruz?
Yes.
Okay, item E is consideration of approval for the Filer Township / Manistee County Road Commission agreement for the projects on Red Apple Road, Ramona Drive, and Linwood Road, all preservation projects, with the township contributing $275,896 towards the total cost of $551,792.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Brian Cruz, second by Dean Cruz to approve the agreement for the improvements of Red Apple Road, Ramona Drive, and Linwood Road, with the township contributing $275,896 of the total cost of $551,792. Any discussion?
When do they start on that project?
Uh,
Projected to start?
I would have to go back and look. I don't know that, it's not included in this.
Probably in August or something.
No, it said it would be done by August.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Until we agree.
I know they had a schedule included with the initial packet of information, so, and I have that.
Oh, yeah, I see completion
Is it in
by
here?
August 23rd.
Okay.
Didn't see
Yeah,
it.
thing I
August
have is
23rd,
one-
yeah.
I had one complaint on the intersection where Ramona meets up the Red Apple.
Yeah.
The one side has a
Right.
long curve, the other one has a straight cut.
Right,
Gonna make them both the same. Gotta make sure it's in our plan.
yeah, and I think, are you scheduled for
I
this
go-
month's road
Yes,
commission?
this week,
Is that tomorrow?
I think so.
Okay. I'd like to go to that and bring that issue up,
Yeah.
yeah. I just looked at it today, so. Okay, Shirley?
Okay, Dean Cruz,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
Brian Cruz.
Yes.
Kaczynski,
Yes,
Kalinowski.
Yes.
Paul, yes, Walker.
Yes. Item F is consideration of approval of the presented amended wages, salaries, charges, and fees resolution for 2024/25.
I'll make the motion to accept that for the salary wages resolution.
I'll support.
Motion by Kolonowski, second by Brian Cruz to approve the amended wages, salaries, charges, and fees resolution for 2024/2025. Any discussion? Okay. Shirley?
Walker,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
yes,
Paul, yes, Dean Cruz.
Yes.
Brian Cruz.
Yes.
Kalinowski.
Yes.
Stady.
Yes.
Okay, item G is consideration of approval of a new computer and monitor for our treasurer.
How much was the quote, 1,100 or something? 1104?
$1,104, and I total in that,
and that's only for the equipment.
okay, just for the equipment, so that doesn't include
We would be,
the Windows program?
yeah, that's included.
That's
That's in
included,
there, yeah.
okay.
But it
Does-
would not include
Webcam?
transferring of data and
Okay.
everything from the old one to the new one.
Right,
And I believe we would normally have VCS3 do that,
BC3.
VC. So we do not have any information on exactly how much that
oh,
would be.
okay.
So, yeah, we.
So these quotes for transferring the data is if Jack Pine does it?
No,
No, Jack Mine doesn't do that.
Or,
BC3.
they put it in here, but VC3 does it because they handle all our IT stuff.
Oh, okay. So are those quotes that are here for this data
Just to
transfer?
purchase the computer and the monitor.
Okay,
That's
all right.
it, not the data
Doesn't-
transfer, that would be.
Data
done
transfer is
at
not
another point.
included, the webcam's not included?
That's webcam.
Webcam is, okay, all right.
So what, should we wait to get a quote from transfer, or should we assume that they do all of our work and we just have it done?
I don't know that you'd be able to get a quote, it depends on how much time it takes.
So we could make a motion to purchase the equipment needed from Jack Pine and have DC3 transfer the data.
Is that a motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it. Okay, motion by Brian Cruz, second by Walker to purchase the computer for the treasurer for the total of $1,104 and then look for VC3 to transfer the data. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Okay, Item H is consideration of approval in the amount of $100 to Consumers Energy for the streetlight installation, and direct the supervisor to sign the contract and the resolution. And that's for that streetlight we've been working on for some time at the intersection of Red Apple Road and Bittersweet. However, there's going to be a change to that, not in the cost, but in the location. I contacted the gal from Consumers today, Tanya Gilroy, and where they were proposing that light would be with the installation of a new pole that would be directly across from Bittersweet, right in the middle, but unfortunately that's right in the middle of a parcel of property, and doesn't make sense to do that. There's already a light pole right on the border of that parcel of property. And so anyway, speaking with her about it, she didn't have an answer as to how they did that, because typically the light poles are on property boundaries, not in the middle of parcels. And so she was going to rework the installation of it. Everything would be the same, but they'll use the existing pole that's already there. It'll be a 16-foot arm bracket, LED light, I believe 40 watt. And anyway, then I did ask her to contact me the day before the crew comes out to install, because I want to make sure they don't screw up and put it where they originally had it marked out there. So at any rate, but she confirmed that the cost would still be the same, the $100 cost, and still the contract and everything would be the same.
I'll make the motion, we go ahead and have Consumers do this.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Kolonowski, second by Dean Cruz, to approve the $100 cost for streetlight installation to Consumers Energy, and direct the supervisor to sign the contract and the resolution. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we got a resolution there, so go ahead, Shirley.
Okay, Paul, yes. Davey?
Yes.
Kalinowski?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Brian Cruz?
Yes.
Dean Cruz?
Yes.
Okay, public comment. Anything else tonight? Okay. Anything else come before the board tonight? Tom, do you have anything else tonight?
I got something from the state about some grant stuff you sent in, and we needed more information.
Yeah, that's, I got emailed Nicole Horn right away and forwarded that to her, and then she emailed me back, and it was just some, I forget the word she used, but it was nothing major, and they're taking care of that, making the changes. So, is that it?
That's it.
Dean, you got anything else tonight?
No, I don't.
Okay. Tom?
Nothing. We don't want to quit yet, it's raining on.
Yeah. Shirley?
We started our pre-audit. Our regular full-blown audit will be the last part of May, right after Memorial Day. Anybody wants to come in and pay it.
Don't see anybody jumping up and down? Okay. Brian, you got anything else tonight?
No, I don't have anything.
Tom, for the delay of the departure? Okay. I have nothing else tonight, so just need a motion for adjournment.
I make the motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Dean Cruz, second by Brian Cruz to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
13.